Okay. Doesn't look like it's there yet. My channel. Yes, there it is. There it is. Oh. There it is. There we go. Silent mode on. There we go. I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. Hello, everybody joining. If you're watching me, just pop up a message to say hello, say good morning. I woke up an hour ago, which is late for me, 7 o'clock in the morning. Usually I wake up way earlier than that. So I'm still a bit needing this coffee this morning. The last few days I've been up and recorded like 6 videos before I've been doing this. I was working for a long time before this started. Not today. I think I needed the sleep. Obviously, I needed the sleep. Before I went to sleep last night, I watched a really interesting video on YouTube. So I've been telling you all that I've researching nutrition at the moment. And so there's a few YouTube channels that I'm following for that. There's a few podcasts that I'm listening to. And it's all about me eating what's best for me now as a professional athlete, so that I'm not stressing my body out. So I'm fueling my body with what it needs. Not so much the fuel, but more the micronutrients. So not so much the either glucose or ketones that I'm getting from it, which fuels the cells. It's like the petrol, but more for the internal processes that are going on. So I don't want to be depleting my body with exercising so much. Anyway, so I'm following all of these channels and I'm watching all of these videos and learning all about it. And I watched one last night before I went to bed, and it wasn't so much about nutrition, this one. This was about the heart. And so it was an interview on High Intensity Health. That's the YouTube channel if you want to check it out. But it was interviewing someone who's written a book about the heart. So this is an MD. He and I think you might have heard in the last couple of years he's brought out, he's written a lot of articles about it, how the heart isn't a pump. We've all been taught that the heart is a pump and it kind of pumps blood around the body, but that's not true. The heart isn't a pump. In fact, it's kind of the other way around. The blood pumps the heart. So the heart is more, the blood goes into the heart, right? And it makes the heart expand because of the pressure of the blood that goes in. And then because the heart has a valve that's closed, and then the heart opens that valve and the blood rushes out, and so the heart contracts again back to its original size. It's not the heart that's doing that, it's the blood that's doing that. The heart only opens and closes that valve, right? But what the heart does is it makes that blood into a vortex in that chamber before it opens the valve. Or that whole process of the opening the valve makes it go into a vortex, right? So the vortex, these spirals that we see in nature, they're on our heads, and they're on our crown of our heads. You see them in plants. You see them in the way that seeds are in certain plants, the formation of the seeds. And so spirals are like this building block of life kind of thing, like the flower of life, all of those the patterns that we see in nature. And so he was talking about, how the blood goes around the body, and the blood actually stops. It's the same speed that the blood goes into the heart as it comes out of the heart. The heart isn't pumping the blood. It's not faster when it comes out, so it can get it all the way around the body. And the blood goes on its merry way, and it gets to the capillaries. It actually stops at the capillaries. And then it turns around and it starts moving again, right? So if it was true that the heart was a pump, then there'd have to be a little heart in every capillary, and there isn't, right? So it's the blood that moves. And so he's looked into why the blood moves then. So if it's the blood pumping the heart, what makes the blood move? Oh, cool. You've had a nutty day, Nikki. Some sanity. Cool. Yeah, just before I went to bed, I watched this video on High Intensity Health YouTube channel, and he was interviewing this MD, and it was so interesting. And I knew that anyway. And I'd already read his stuff a year ago that the heart isn't a pump, that it creates this vortex, and he was saying, there needs to be the science now of life, not the science of the elements and stuff, because life isn't the elements. You know what I mean? It's like if we say a carrot is so many oxygens, carbons, sulfurs, and whatever is in the carrot, if we were to eat all of those different components, we still wouldn't get the nutrition that was in a carrot, right? Because it's not just those components. There's something about life. Hey, Miriam, how are you? There's something about life that creates that. There's something in life that creates the meaning, like what the blueprint of it. And same with blood, like he's looked into why blood actually moves, right? Why it moves around our body. So if it's moving by itself, what makes it move? And so interesting, because blood is mostly water. It's kind of sticky water with lots of stuff in it. Well, he said, water, we're taught that water has 3 phases, which is ice, solid, liquid, gas. Everything has 3 phases, solid, liquid, gas, but water has 4 phases, like jelly or jello, whatever you call it. That's a 4th phase, isn't it? The gel phase of water. There's a phase of water where you can't get water out of it, like the water that's in us. It isn't solid, it isn't liquid, it isn't gas either. If you stab yourself, water doesn't come out. Blood might come out, but the water doesn't come out of the cells, right? Even if you were to break a cell, it's not water that comes out yet. We're mostly water. So it's in a different phase. It's in this gel phase. And gels, right? So this is what happens in the vein, is that a gel from the blood is formed on the outside of the vein, and that's negatively ioned, negatively charged. And so what's left of the blood, because it's part of the blood that forms that gel on the outside of the veins, or the arteries, and both, in fact. And so the blood flows. So what's left of the blood is positively charged, and so it causes it to flow through. And so they've recreated this using other things. There's this protein stuff, this water protein gel that you can form, which actually propels stuff through it. So interesting. Anyway, the really interesting part of it for me was, well, how do we ensure that this happens? It's like, so what really is heart disease? What is it? And it's like, well, it's when you lose your life force. You're losing your life force. What causes us to lose our life force? It's not getting negative ions in us through our food. So if we're eating junk food, if we're eating processed food, we're not getting it. If we're eating meat predominantly gives us the negative ions that we need. Vegetables, somewhat. He was talking about, what the diet was over 100 years ago when there was no heart disease around, and that was mostly animal products. It was butter, cream, cheese, meat, and a few vegetables. And then heart disease came along when we started eating more vegetables and grains in particular, and processed food, and sometimes moving away completely from meats. Anyway, so the other thing is grounding too. So barefoot on the earth, that grounds you. We know about that, right? We get negative ions from that. So what gives you positive ions? So what gives you positive ions to take that life force away is things like this and this. Being on the phone, being on the computer, being inside, not having your feet on the earth, not getting out into nature, eating the wrong things. Miriam, hey, I'm doing well. Nighttime here in America. Yeah, I know. It is. It's so interesting. And so I realized, I need to get doing a daily walk again on the beach to do that grounding. So you need to be healthy. You need like half an hour. He said, it depends on the person. If you haven't been grounded, if you're eating the wrong things, if you're already in a problem. And so what happens is when you're too positively focused, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? Because we think about our minds then. But if our ions are too positively focused because we've not been taking care of our health, then the blood slows down. And it looks like the arteries are getting clogged, the veins getting clogged. But really it's the blood can't move because it hasn't got the right ions. We're losing our life force. So interesting. So yeah, I need to get more grounded. Also, yesterday was my first day without any chocolate. I finished all that box of chocolate bars that I bought, and I decided not to get any more and see if I can last without it. I wanted a chocolate bar last night, and I didn't have any, and so I didn't have it. Right, so I picked a card for today, and the card for today is Higher Power. Yeah, chocolate's addictive, Mariam, but not just that. It's like the only junk food that I eat. I eat really well, and I know what it's doing to my body. I know exactly what junk food does to your body. I know what taking that sugar and the oils that are in it in particular, I know what that's doing to my body, and I don't want to do that anymore. So, Higher Power is the card for today. So this is all about source, our connection to source, which is so interesting, isn't it? Because it's like what I've just been talking about is how we connect to source. It's how we connect to our life force. It's how we get more life force through that grounding. So yeah, we can't disconnect ourselves from nature. I've been learning about meat in particular as well. My body really thrives on meat, and I know why now, because we're omnivores and we generally are meant to eat meat. I listened to another podcast yesterday as well, Pete Evans' Heal podcast, and he was interviewing a doctor that's been struck off, I think, in Australia for telling the truth about sugar and how bad it is for us and processed food and stuff. And they were saying that him and his wife have been researching it, and it's actually a religious thing. It was the family who were Seventh-day Adventists, I think, who started planting these grains that people never used to eat, saying that it's healthy, and it was all to try and stop people masturbating. They had this idea that eating meat was getting you into some kind of primal energy, life force energy. It's actually true. That's the thing. What they were saying is actually true, but it's not about masturbation. It's about life force energy. And so, yeah, they thought that it was their mission to eradicate, in a religious way, the world of its masturbation problems, and wanted people to take this vegetarian or vegan diet. And so they started planting grains, and they started these companies, grain companies, and then they kind of took over the health guidelines. And so there's not any science behind all of the stuff that is in health guidelines, health and nutrition guidelines, the mainstream stuff. I find the vegetarian mindset quite silly. Yeah, because it's not healthy to deprive yourself of protein. And it's not protein. Like, you can get protein from plants. It's not so much the protein, but it's the quality of the protein. It's what we're getting from it. And you can't sustain a vegan diet without supplementation. And when you talk about supplementation, you've got to supplement what you're missing from the meat. And where does that come from? Where do those supplements come from? Well, if you're not going to get it from meat, so vegans won't want to get those supplements from meat, derived from meat, then they're going to have to get them from somewhere else. And what do? You have to go to the elements. And just as I've said, the elements of a carrot aren't a carrot. You need the life force in it. And so it's not sustainable at all. We're not omnivores. We can't choose to be herbivores. We are omnivores. We can't choose to be herbivores. Also, I've been researching about the quality of meat as well. So I'm not just talking grass-fed. That all of that's important too, what the animal is eating, because if the animal is eating sugar, if it's eating grains, then you're getting messed up there. They're getting messed up and you're getting messed up when you eat that food. But the quality of the meat, so which meats are best for us? And the answer is it's the animals that have got lots of stomachs, so cows, goats, buffalo, all of those animals that have lots of stomachs. And the reason for that is they eat the grass or whatever, they eat the plant, they're herbivores, and they have the stomachs, the lots of stomachs to be able to deal with all of the anti-nutrients that you get from plants, and that's the reason that we don't do so well on vegetables. My children don't want to eat vegetables. It's so interesting. And so they have the bellies, they have the stomachs to deal with the anti-nutrients that goes through a lot of processing within them to take the life force from whatever it is they're eating, the grass or whatever, and can convert it into the really good protein in their own meat, and then we eat that. And so this, and they live for a much longer time as well, even when they're harvested early. Compared to chickens, chickens have a very short lifespan. Their meat doesn't have much nutrition, much life force in it, especially if they're fed grains, which most of them are. So yeah, I found it so interesting that this is the card that came out today after learning all of that. It's the higher power, it's our source, it's like that life force. We need to get in touch with our life force again. So yeah, today I'm going to start walking on the beach again. Every day. Go for a walk on the beach to get that grounding, because I don't particularly want to go stand on the grass outside where I live. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a walk on the beach. So did you watch the daily read for today? Today being Tuesday, the 8th of October. I did. Let me see if I can remember it. The energies were about releasing guilt, about love and releasing guilt. So we are love, and anything that's gone on in our past about what we love or about how we think we haven't loved properly, we need to release guilt for that to set us free to be our loving selves. The challenges are, I can't remember now. But let's pick some cards to go more into the energies of today anyway. Cool. First card's out. Abundance and innocence. Abundance and innocence. So abundance doesn't require you to be perfect. It doesn't require you to be anything, in fact. It doesn't require you to be fully positive. It doesn't require you to focus on it. It's available to anybody. Because we're all innocent. We're all innocent. So it's like newborn babies. They're all innocent. They all deserve abundance. They all deserve love. They deserve a great life. And nothing changed since that day we were born. So the way we can mess up our receiving of abundance is by not believing that. It's by learning throughout our lives that we're not innocent. That we're doing something wrong, excuse me. That we're doing something wrong somehow. Religions have taught us that. Society teaches us that. Society teaches us that we've got to go and work for someone else and do something that we don't want to do to get money. We get all these beliefs, we pick up all these beliefs, these anti-abundance beliefs. And it's not true. It's not true. We're innocent. And the more we can let go of all those bogus beliefs, even the beliefs that have been taught to us by people like me, the law of attraction, because I believe that, I believe that you needed to be positive and you needed to focus on what it was that you want and release everything else. Sure, there's an element of that. Some of that's true. You need to to be able to allow it in requires you to let go of stuff. But the focus, not really. You don't need to focus on it. You just need to ask for it once. That's not focus. Like a baby, huh? Like a baby. When a baby, whatever a baby wants, it asks for it with a cry. Okay, so more guidance for today. Oh, we've got connection and weight. So the connections you're trying to make, maybe you want to move forward with a relationship, maybe you want to move forward into a new job or something. You're wanting to move forward with some kind of connection with someone or make a connection with someone. And the timing isn't right. Timing isn't right yet, so still getting ready for it. So just look after yourself in the meantime. Do the best for you. Okay? And connection with higher power too. My eyes were drawn to the higher power card on my iPad there again. So this is funny because I noticed a question. I don't know, I was just on Facebook and I noticed someone asking a question in a group about how to get to that, how when you're meditating do you get to that really great place of no thought and everything. It's like, well, you practice. Some people had answered. I didn't bother. You just practice meditation, It's like asking, how do you run really fast when you've just started running? It's like, well, you just keep on practicing and you get better and better at it, There's no jumping to it. And when we're in meditation, we foster that connection with our higher power too. We allow our higher selves to come through in meditation. That's what I do with my readings too. I've learned how to switch over to that listening mode, to quiet my mind, to get that connection really easily. Done it so much and so many times now that I just do it really easily. Meditation for myself is another matter. If I could do it instantly like that for myself, it would be awesome, but I can't. It's different. I've got to meditate for my connection with my higher self. And so this reminds me of that, is that it's not instant. You've got to keep on practicing your meditation. There's no quick fix. There's no quick way of getting there, to silence the mind, to let that connection come through. Just got to keep on practicing. You got to wait for it. And the more patient you are with it, the easier it comes too. When you're kind of fighting, you can't fight for meditation. You can't fight your mind. That, don't it? You just, oh no. Wouldn't be very good meditation at all. Not beneficial for you. Cool. So more cards for today. General energies for everybody. Believe in self, get support. Get support. The support cards keep on coming out. And it's only when we believe in ourselves and believing that we deserve it, knowing our innocence, the abundance card, knowing our innocence, believing in yourself, believing you deserve support, people around you. That was another way of getting your negative ions as well, and your life force through other people, through touch. We need that. We need the touch of other people. We need hugs. We need touching. So this is why men have greater heart health when they're married. They have that touch. They're getting the life force. Why don't women though? Women don't get as much life force from men. I don't get that. No. That's Miriam saying. It feels more like enduring your mind going back and forth and then eventually coming to peace with it. Yeah. And it's part of it, I think it's a really important part of it too, seeing where your mind goes to in meditation, because that's the junk that we've got in our heads, It's like if you were to meditate, say, on your innocence, and your innocence, so you're worthy of abundance, say. So you go into a meditation with that focus, or for that reason, with that intention. And then you sit and you're just watching, you're just listening, you're listening to your mind. And then when you notice that your mind's gone off on a tangent, you don't just bring it back to the breath or whatever it is you're focusing on. You notice where your mind went to. Because if you go into a meditation with an intention, your subconscious mind is going to come up with its contradictions. Yeah. So where it goes to is going to be what it doesn't believe about that. So it's really valuable information, the crap that the subconscious mind comes out with when you're in meditation. And so the process is the process of meditation. It's like going to the gym. It's the process. It's the process that it's important. Exercise, that's another one too. So yeah, getting support from other people, it's really important. We need to have people around us. We need touch. You need to believe in yourself. Believe that you deserve the life force. And there's ways of getting the life force from nature, from people, from what you eat. And there's ways of messing that up too. And unfortunately, those ways that we mess our life force up have become mainstream, and we're told that we should have those and they're healthy for us, and they're not. So yeah, believing in yourself and getting support, supporting yourself, looking after yourself. Hey AP, how are you? I'm good today. I woke up late today. Late for me, so 7 o'clock this morning I woke up. An hour before I started this. Needed the sleep. And I said yesterday that I wasn't going to work out yesterday, but I did. I went training. Today I'm not going to, because the last 2 nights I've been having to put balm on my arm to even get to sleep because the muscles are hurting. It's because I've been training one-on-one with my ex because he's sick. He's come back to the island with something wrong with him. I don't know what it is. He's got some kind of an infection of his jaw or something like that. His face is all blown up. He can hardly talk. And so he's training just me because he doesn't need to speak to me. We can understand each other telepathically. I know what he wants to. We've trained so much together that I know what he's trying to say to me. But when you train one-on-one, that means you don't get very many breaks. So it's more intense, there's longer rounds, more intense, less breaks. So it's full on. So where everyone else in an hour is sharing a trainer with another person or another 2 people. So they're doing like half an hour, or they're doing 25 minutes or 20 minutes and having and breaks in between. I'm pretty much doing the whole thing. I wish I had your enthusiasm for training. It comes with, it's the same like meditation, what I was saying about meditation. The more you do it, the more you want to do it because you feel so good. You don't feel so good when you first start. But especially when I lost all the weight, it got so much easier then. I wasn't really straining my body. And I realized I was skinny fat before. I was putting a lot of strain on my body before, but that's when it significantly changed for me. That a year ago to 6 months ago, when I lost all the weight. It was only about 12 kilos. I'm at 54 now. I was 66, around 66 before. So about 12 kilos, that's what? about 30 pounds. Not a massive amount. Something like that, 25, 30 pounds. Not a massive amount, but it made all the difference. And so it's the process as you unlock more of that life energy. So AP, watch this again. Watch the replay, because at the start I talk about a video that I watched, and it's about life force, about our life force and how we get that life force and how we deplete our life force. It's really interesting. The true cause of heart disease. Great achievement. Yeah, and that's why, and it doesn't feel like an achievement losing the weight, because it was just about learning. It was just about learning about my body, learning about how it wasn't like I had to starve myself and had to exercise more. That's not how you lose weight, by the way. And so once I'd learned about it, how you actually do lose weight, it's really easy. It is really easy. You don't need to starve yourself. Then, of course, the weight dropped off me. I did it for myself, and then I have to share this with other people. And so that's why I do the coaching now as well. And so when I do the weight loss coaching, I teach you all about how the biology of the body works, especially the liver, how your body lays down fat and how it uses that fat. Conventional weight loss information and guidelines out there keeps you in fat gaining mode. It never gets you into fat burning mode, fat loss mode. And it's like a switch in your body. And once you know how to flip that switch, how to teach your body to flip that switch, and you've got complete control of that switch, it is super simple. And you don't need to be hungry. You don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to do more exercise. It's just so simple. That's why I have to share it, because it's just so simple. So it takes me like 2 hours to teach all of that. But once you've got it for life. It's like, then it's just so easy. And I don't feel like it's an achievement anymore. It's just having the right information. Yeah. So it's cool. Yeah, you need to learn it. You do. Everyone does. And it's so much misinformation out there. And that interview that I was watching last night before I slept, it's available on High Intensity Health YouTube channel. It's sad about the origins for all of the crap that's out there about health and what we should be eating and how to lose weight and all of that. The origins of it aren't in science at all. The science was all funded by these religious sect, these big companies, the grain companies, to get the information, their bias out there, to stop everyone from masturbating. It's bizarre. And in fact, I think there's something in the Seventh-day Adventist Church or something, or maybe in one of the companies like the Kellogg's company or Sanitarium or something. Their mission statement is it actually says it in their mission statement is to, I think it's the religion, is to confirm their beliefs are true through science. That's what it actually says. So the science that's out there is laughable. It's just, do it 10 times until you've got the result that you want, that confirms your bias, and then put that one out there. It's that kind of thing. And apparently these medical publishing houses for these papers that come out, this research that comes out, they're admitting this now, or people that have left that industry, those papers, are admitting it now, that it's just a load of crap. Yeah, so we need to get away from that whole physical, mechanical, materialistic thought and get more into the life thought, the life force thought. Okay, I'm going to pick some cards out for me. Yeah, so if you want some of that health coaching, honestly, it's all you'll need for life. And it's, I just said health coaching, fat loss coaching. It's not just about fat loss either. It's about protecting your health. It reverses diabetes. It sorts out so many health problems. There's so much more to it than losing fat. So much more to it. Okay, my cards. My first cards out are I am heard, physical action. So I'm getting from that the physical action that I'm taking is causing me to be heard. Did you check out my videos? I made 8 more videos yesterday for the full moon for each star sign. I'm really enjoying doing that. They're all up on my YouTube channel now. Reach out and allow. Okay, if you'd like a personal reading with me, click on click in the description box. There's also a link up there for the full moon readings that are $20 off at the moment. Yeah, I do need to allow more. I'm in a sticky financial situation at the moment. I don't know, for some reason everyone stopped getting readings at the same time a few weeks ago. And that's why, but it's good. Like, I can see what happened to me, because it's really got me focused on my business now. It's got me being more creative. It's got me really scared because my rent is so late now, but I'm trusting that I'm in the right place, that it's geared me up to do more videos and do more of this stuff. I like the energy that it's got me into, not so much the fear stuff, but I'm trying to ignore that. Well, I'm trying to feel that and just direct it into taking action and doing things. So there we go. So yeah, I am heard, physical action, reach out, allow. Who would like a reading? Oh, let's see what Colette says in this card, the higher power card. Higher power. This card reminds you that you're more than a person trying to get ahead and make things happen for yourself and others. You have an immortal soul and are gifted with a human life through which a higher power can express itself. At this time, you need to be more conscious of your connection to spirit and foster it through prayer and meditation and grounding and eating the right things. And there's so much to it, so many aspects of it. It's not just about spirit. Ask, what is the highest good for all? How can I serve? Then get out of your own way and trust that there's a plan for your life more wondrous than you can ever know. You're always protected and divinely directed. Cool. I like that. So yeah, fostering our connection with our higher power, it's not just about meditation and prayer. It's not just the spiritual aspects of it. It's it's everything. We can't disconnect anything. It's the physical too. It's looking after ourselves. It's getting grounded, planting our feet on the earth, actually walking barefoot on the earth. It's eating the right foods, natural foods. Anyone want a reading? Just pop up a message and I'll give you a reading. Oh, and don't forget to click subscribe and click like on the videos that you watch as well. It really makes a difference. So the week ahead videos that I did for each star sign, Capricorn was the most watched of the week ahead videos so far. And when people click like on it and when people watch it, YouTube shows more people. So they've like shown way more people. You know how when you go on YouTube and it puts the up next or the suggested videos for you, it's shown people my video, the Capricorn video, way more than the other videos because of that. So it really makes a difference. So it's like an easy way to support me is to click like on all my videos. AP, let's give you a reading. Right, AP, you've got communicating one step at a time. Now I'm getting that this is about communication issues that you've had. Maybe you've become aware that you're not the best communicator in relationships or something. And this is saying you don't need to be instantly a great communicator. Like, you can just take it one step at a time. Your higher self will help you with that, like help you to get better at it. And by showing you in your awareness just one aspect of it each time, and then you make that change, you get used to that change, and then it'll show you another aspect of it, or put someone in front of you that can model a certain way of communicating, and you learn that and you practice that. And so it's all that one step at a time thing. So if you want to like jump into being a great, like the best communicator in the world straight away, that's not going to happen. But if you think that that's even possible and you're holding yourself to that high standard, it's just going to make you feel guilty, and it's what you resist persists. What I'm getting from this is about what you're doing. There's an aspect of you, maybe something that you've done as a hobby, something that you're really interested in that you're not doing anymore, that you've kind of forgotten about, that you're resisting it. Maybe you think it's a waste of time or it's not productive or something, but it's something that you're really drawn to do, and it's something about who you are. You might not think it's who you are, but it is. So don't resist doing the things that you want to do because you think that it's not productive, or it's not what you should be doing, or you need to do something more important. Because there's nothing more important than listening to your heart, listening to what your higher self is kind of leading you to. Do you know what that's about? Yes, I totally resonate, like learning a language, etc. Yeah, the one step at a time. Oh, but you've been drawn to learn a language? Or was that about the one step at a time? I love learning. I really do. I've been learning the Thai language, but it's not so much at the moment. Little by little. And I enjoy learning language, but it's difficult. Yeah. And so even if it's difficult, and you've got that urge to learn it, don't stop. There's something in that for you. It can be difficult. It's funny with the Thai language because, they've got a completely different alphabet. If you've ever seen the written Thai language, the symbols are very different. And the easiest way to learn the Thai language is to learn that first. They don't call it an alphabet, they call it something else. I can't remember what it's called. But if you learn all of those first, then you get the sounds right in the Thai language. So I can read it pretty much. Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I get the vowels wrong because the vowels are like, you've got like one symbol and the vowels are around it. And they don't have spaces in between the words either. One sentence is all together, and you just gotta learn which groups of symbols go together for the words. So it is a bit tricky, but it's so interesting. And I tell you what, once I'd learned the alphabet or whatever they call it, and then could start successfully reading words, the feeling of achievement was just incredible. Even now, like I'll look at signs and stuff and I'll read them, and it's like, yeah, especially if I understand it too, if I know what the words are. Communication was linked to someone I was getting to know from a different country. Oh, okay, languages are difficult, yeah, and it makes relationships so difficult when the language isn't the same. I don't know. For me, I need to be in a relationship with someone that speaks the same language as me. I realise that now. I've had a few Thai boyfriends. Just there's not that same level of intimacy when you can't discuss things properly. You don't have never have that intellectual kind of connection with them. And the emotional intimacy isn't the same if you can't talk. If you can't talk properly, communicate properly with each other. Someone's got to be at a really high level of knowing a language before they can talk about that kind of stuff in order to be able to have a relationship. And I've realized it's really important. That's really important to me. And when it's missing, it's missing. And I deserve to have a relationship where that's not missing. I need to have a relationship where that's not missing. And AP, the other day we talked about you can get different things from different people. And so accepting the love that people have to offer you as they offer it to you rather than wanting something else from them. So say if someone's really good emotional support to you, then not expecting them to be intellectual support to you, or expecting them to be romantic or whatever. It's like it can compartmentalize. But there are certain things that I need within a romantic relationship that are important to make that romantic relationship work, I've realized. And the language is really, really important. Not the language itself, but the things that are important in a romantic relationship to me. The communication is just so important. It's so important and leads to those things. But I find myself attracted to people from different countries because I learn so much from them. But maybe it's time to stop learning from relationships so much, or wanting to learn from relationships so much, and just have relationships that nourish me more and start learning from other people without trying to be in a romantic relationship with them. Is anyone still on? I think Nikki's still on and she's fallen asleep watching this. Because she's in the UK. In the UK it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something like that. Would anyone else like a reading? Is anyone else still there? Or is it just me and AP? Mariam, are you still there? Yeah, so I stopped eating chocolate. I didn't buy any more chocolate, and I didn't have chocolate yesterday. I survived. I just don't want to eat that stuff anymore. I don't want to eat the stuff that's in junk food anymore, the oils and the sugars and stuff, that processed stuff. I know what it's doing to my body. So I would allow myself some good quality chocolate, but I'd rather just stay away from it. I'd rather just stay away from that stuff. Eat real food. I'll go and buy myself more fruit today. Yes, I can look into something random for you, AP. Go ahead, tell me what it is. A random thing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do after this. I'm going to get on my bike. I'm going to ride to my head. I'm going to go and get some food, get some shopping, get some fruit. Because that's the other thing as well. If there's no chocolate, I need to make sure that there's plenty of food in, good food in here. Because I was needing those calories from all that chocolate that I was eating. So I need to replace those calories with something. I'm eating way more meat than I used to. What would M's higher self want to tell you? It's really interesting because the cards have come out upside down, both of them. All four of them, I mean. Ah, right. AP, M's higher self is saying for you to open up to being friends. So you know how the other day I was talking about you put a lot of pressure on people in relationships, expecting too much from them? Same if you are just expecting it to be a romantic relationship and nothing else will do. If you really love someone, you'd want to be friends with them or in a relationship with them, and only in a romantic relationship with them if you both wanted the same things. But otherwise you'd be in a friendship with them. Yeah. And so M's higher self is saying, open yourself up to being a friend. Because when you're like, it's a romantic relationship or nothing, that's too much pressure. And that's saying, I'm not willing to love you, really. That's like saying, I'm not going to love you. That's interesting. Yeah, because I decided with someone that's come into my life again, that whether we can have a romantic relationship with each other or not, I would want to be friends with him anyway because he's my kind of person. We've got a lot in common with my kind of person. which makes me think it's perfect for a romantic relationship. But even if, but I know, you've got to be in the same place, physically in the same place to have a romantic relationship, but you need to be in the same headspace. You need to be wanting the same things as each other to have a successful romantic relationship. And so why would I throw them out just because those aren't in place, So that's what I decided, is that I want to be his friend anyway. It's very freeing when you do that. So even though we don't talk, he would still want to be friends. Now, this is his higher self. So this is like feedback from his higher self about what has gone on, saying, you push people away by not wanting to be friends with them, by wanting just the romance. Yeah. This isn't saying that now he will, or she, I don't know, he or she, yeah, go back, will go backwards, Of course, they're going through their own things as well. They'll be having reactions to it all. So it's the higher self. The higher self is very different. So this is like feedback from what has come on. Whoa. So interesting, because I wanted more, but I know I hurt him by ending our friendship. There you go. That's why the higher self has said that. Yeah. True loving is allowing people to be friends. And if you both want, and if it makes sense, if you want to build something together, if you want to have a romantic relationship with each other, then go into that. But just, people can be so blinded by their hearts, or what they think is their hearts, but it's not really their hearts, it's really their ego. It's clinging on to people, it's attachment. That all comes from ego, that doesn't come from the heart. And what happens is the ego tells us a story like, you need to hold on to this person, you need to grab hold of them, chase them down, and hold on to this person. That's attachment. And then we get emotions from that. And so the emotions that we get from those thoughts, and it's all those emotions, we think is the love aspect of it, and it's not. It's the emotions are a reaction to our thoughts. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in his human self. But yeah, that's what it is. I don't have access to that. I'm not a mind reader with people. If I was talking to him, if he was asking me stuff from his higher self, it would be very different, but he's not, So. Trump is king. Excuse me, Mrs. Witch, can you please stop this evil sorcery? You'll doom us all, and I'm really scared. No, I won't stop being me. Don't stop being you either. Hi. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on for him, IP. I don't know that at all. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Not because someone told me to, but because my MacBook is running out of power. It's been very helpful. Awesome. I'm glad. Hey, chicken. Yeah, so if you haven't already, check out those videos that I've put up, star signs for the full moon, and click like on as many videos as you can. But I think the watching of them is what really propels them forward. And if you'd like a private reading, then just check the links in the description box below. Have a great day, AP, and anyone else that's watching. Everyone else that's watching. And thanks for coming along. See you soon. Maybe tomorrow.